Hello and welcome everyone to this week's COT review. I'm Thomas from COTbase.com, and today we're going to have a look at the 49th Commitments of Traders report this year. As usual, we're going to start off with the changes in commercials positions. Here we go. You can see we've got Russell 2000 on top with the 44% change. Pretty large change. Let's have a look at the chart. There we go. You have that change over here. We had larger changes in the past, but it's definitely larger than average. What's interesting to see on Russell 2000 is we've got commercials and large speculators both net short, and it's only small speculators who are taking the long side of the market. So that could be considered a bearish picture maybe. Let's move on to crude oil. We had a 32% change over there. Here we go. You can see the change size over here, larger than average. We don't really see larger changes in the past. Let's have a look at the 5-year chart and see how extreme the market is. Here we go. Well, the 5-year chart shows us that we're not at a really large extreme, but we could say that in a let's say a 2.5-3 years term, we're closer to a relative extreme. I don't think that this market is really the market that we had a great COT signal. So I would suggest to move on to cotton, a market that we've been talking about in the past couple of weeks a lot. We had large changes. You can see on the chart pretty hectic moves over here. This time we can see large speculators net long and commercials being net short. I want to show you the greater picture. Let's open the 10-year chart. And what I've been talking about a lot, that whenever commercials were net long, that usually coincided with a bottom in prices. So again, we can see that commercials are closer to the zero line. If they start moving down, meaning that they're putting more and more net short contracts to their positions, we could be witnessing higher prices. It's all over soft markets. If you look at sugar, coffee, pretty similar picture exists over there. Let's move on to COT extreme and large speculators. Let's have a look at that. Okay, we've got Australian dollar and Japanese yen, two currencies on top. Interesting. Let's have a look at Australian dollar first. Here we go. We had that all-time signal in large speculators. So here we go. We have large speculators roughly around, I would say, 90,000 contracts long, maybe. So it's a pretty nice sell signal. Let's have a look at previous cases when large speculators were at such extreme levels. Of course, in this case, commercials and small speculators were at extremes as well. This time we can't see small speculators at such an extreme level. So maybe if we would have small speculators around 25,000 contracts net long, it would be an even nicer picture. But still, the extreme exists. You can see it over here. And this is a bearish picture, at least what the COT report tells us. So let's open the Japanese yen. We've been talking about it for the past couple of weeks. The bullish picture that exists over here. If you look at the past couple of cases, this last three, I want to show you, all of them coincided with the bottom in prices. So that's something we're expecting in the Japanese yen. So it could be a good trade if you trade the Australian dollar Japanese yen pair. Let's move on to COT extreme and small speculators. So we have the Japanese yen on top. We talked about it. We've got cocoa on the second place with a 618 report extreme. That's a huge one. So we're going to open the 10-year chart right away. But as I said on the cotton chart, similarly to cotton, actually over here we're not witnessing the same thing. We've moved away from, at least commercials have moved away from the zero line, so they're really getting into deep net short territories, which is interesting. So that's not something similar to cotton. Here we have commercials net short around 50,000 contracts, and small speculators really optimistic about the market. So it's actually, it could be that in cocoa could be an exception in soft markets, and it could be that here we have more of a bearish picture than a bullish one. So my apologies for what I said at cotton. That's going to be all for this week. If you would like to have a more in-depth analysis, then you can come and check our subscription service at COTbase.com, where you can add other great functions to your table, or look at other COT report types like CIT, TIF, or disaggregated maybe. So that's going to be all for this week. I hope you enjoyed my report, and I hope to see you next week. So have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.